Bitcoiners and future Bitcoiners. This is Cory Klippsten.
And this is GaryLeland. And you're listening to episode 126 of the Crypto Cousins podcast.
Feed your interest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies by joining Hall of Fame podcaster GaryLeland on the Crypto Cousins podcast. And remember, we are all cousins in the world of crypto.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Cory, welcome to the show. This is 2 shows and like 8 episodes. I think you're the quickest guest to ever come back.
Well, good. I mean, it'll be very relevant. We're trying to instill repeat behaviors in Bitcoiners. So good practice.
Yeah, so that'll be a good way to look at it. And also, this is episode 1 of season 3. So
cool. Congratulations, Gary.
Yeah. So I had to take January off. So I know you and I are filming this in January, but I'm really pretty much taking January. I take January off every year from this show and do my other adventures that I want to do. Hey, before we go any further, in case they didn't listen to like the show like 7 or 8 episodes ago, tell everybody a little bit about yourself real quick. Just who you are, what you're involved with. I mean, just a short bio real quick.
Yeah,
as long as you want to talk. I mean, there's no limit.
I mean, they can always go back and listen to the other one where I think we did a proper intro. But long time, management consulting and big tech exec before getting into startups. So I was with Microsoft and Google. And then I caught the startup bug about 12 years ago and started angling toward this sort of like early stage world. And left Google in 2013 to do startups full time. I've been an angel investor and an advisor and an occasional operator for the last 7 years. Got super interested in Bitcoin about 3 years ago, and now have been able to merge my interest in Bitcoin with being in startups by starting a Bitcoin startup, which we started last summer, and charging forward here into 2020.
So when did you get into Bitcoin? In 2017?
Like a lot of people, yeah. The price run up that spring. It was May of 17.
Yeah, I think I was August of 17. It dropped down to maybe 3,700. It was a little dip when I got in. Mm-hmm. And I just happened to get in that time. I didn't know if it was up or down. So I found out later it was a good time. Enough people had said everything. What made you decide to get into Bitcoin? I don't know if we discussed this last time.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's the most compelling development definitely in my life, and as I go deeper into it and study history and put it in context, like it's very possible that this is the most important thing that's happened in if not hundreds of years, certainly many decades and possibly a couple millennia or more.
yeah, I agree. I think this for sure. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that's what got me interested in it 100%. I wasn't looking at it as I think a lot of people get into it because they think they're going to make a lot of quick money. I don't think that's necessarily what interested me was the quick money, which I don't mind making money. Don't get me wrong. And I don't mind making it quick either. But it hasn't been that quick, even though I am up. It hasn't been like a quick ride to gold or anything, that I'm rich all of a sudden, in a couple of years here. But it is nice to see it up. So you named something earlier, and there's a company you're involved with, Swan. What is that? So
as you probably know, we have a product that we put out in just before the holidays called Give Bitcoin, which is buy Bitcoin for other people. We're now also working on Save Bitcoin, which will be coming out here in a couple of months, hopefully just in time for Bitcoin 2020 in San Francisco. We want to be live before that. And so now Swan is the umbrella brand that puts out these products.
Okay, so it's like the parent company.
The company is Swan, and we have 2 products. One is out and one is coming.
Okay. Well, I'm involved with you guys on Give Bitcoin as an advisor, and I guess I have a tiny piece of that. If it does real good, I make something.
You have a piece of the umbrella company. So whatever we put out, whatever we do.
I didn't know how it worked. I've been doing it to do it. I hadn't been sitting here and keeping it. Well, that's good to know, though. So let's talk about Give Bitcoin real quick. GiveBitcoin.io is the website. And, I like to say this site is Bitcoin for boomers approved. Because boomers seem to sometimes have a hard time with technology. And you can be someone who understands. Well, let me rephrase it back. You can be someone who knows nothing at all, really, about computers or Bitcoin, and you could go to this site and you could send Bitcoin to someone who knows nothing about computers or Bitcoin. I mean, it's how simple you've made it. I mean, two idiots gift each other Bitcoin and not even know what's going on, but they could figure this out.
They just might think that this is something cool or might be appreciated. And yeah, we can make that happen. Our new CTO, who joined us in December, likes to say, no experience required. And
that's a good way to put it.
Distillation of what we've done.
That's a real good way to put it, because, something I came across the other day, and I had someone disagree with me on this, but I think I'm right. Bitcoin, or boomers and kids getting out of high school right now have one thing in common that maybe no one in the generations between them have in common. They've basically gone straight to iPhones or phones for their computers instead of going to computers and to phones. I know a ton of friends of mine from high school and stuff who don't have a computer. Yeah, maybe they've used a computer when they've gone to vote, or there's been a situation where they've been forced to use one for a task, but they never really had one. But they have a phone and they use it all the time.
That's just an iPhone with a really big screen.
Right.
Computer things, just big screens.
But they never had a computer. And there's a lot of kids that, when you were a kid, you had a computer probably, and you accessed and you got on maybe AOL chat and you talked to people or whatever. My kids did. But these kids now, they never really use a computer. They can't type worth a damn because they don't use a computer.
And it's not just generational, it's also geographical. I mean, most of the world is accessing the internet for the first time through phones. They skipped computers, they skipped landlines. So communications for them is really just this device that's connected wirelessly that goes in their pocket.
I never took it that step further to the rest of the world. Yeah, because I was talking in the U.S. In the U.S., I think my theory is correct, or my what I come up with. But you're right. The rest of the world pretty much has that same similarity. So basically, the millennials and the Generation X and stuff, they've done something most of the rest of the people haven't done. They've gone from computers to iPhones.
Yeah, like I'm one of the only two generations for whom thinking in Excel is a thing. You have a mind meld between your hands and the keys, and you need your Excel, keyboard shortcuts and stuff like that. That's just something that new generations will never even think about.
When I went to buy my first computer back in '83, I bought a Mac. It was the first Mac that came in, and I didn't know why I needed a computer, but I thought I needed to go get one. And so I went into a computer store over in Dallas. I said, I want to buy a computer. And he said, which one? I said, I have no idea. I know nothing about computers. And he goes, and my friend was buying a compact, or something. I happened to see him in there. He goes, I'm getting this compact and this stuff. And I said, well, I guess I won't let my friends get in here. He goes, DOS? And I said, no, I have no idea what DOS is. And he goes, well, it's like a foreign language. So I don't want to learn a foreign language. And he goes, well, we just got this new computer last week that you can just click and do stuff. I said, well, give me that deal. So luckily I missed out on the DOS. I guess I didn't have to learn that.
So you got the no experience required version.
Yes, I'm into the no. That's what boomers are into, the no experience required. And they will learn what we need to learn to make it work. So let's go back to give-bitcoin.io. How's that working so far? You've got some great advisors. I mean, if you get a chance, go to the website, give-bitcoin.io, and look at the advisor list, except for me, and then look at the rest of everybody on there, though, and you'll be really impressed with the advisors you have.
Yeah, I mean, we're thrilled with the way that we've gotten really smart Bitcoiners who are really good at educating to get passionate about what we're doing, which is trying to create new Bitcoiners and teach them about Bitcoin through the mechanism of a gift plus escrow. So basically holding the Bitcoin for the recipient for a year so they won't sell it and won't trade it for Ripple or whatever. And then educating them during that year so that they can learn from the best and brightest in Bitcoin about Bitcoin and then take self-custody at the end of that year. So it's working out really well. It's also been a heck of a hiring pool for us. Jan Pritzker was an advisor first and was helping out with some product and helping out with education, and then he came on as CTO. Now, we started out advertising with Citizen Bitcoin, Brady Swenson, who's a 20-year digital marketer as well. And then he became an advisor, and now he's our head of marketing. So that's pretty cool to be able to, source talent through the pool of Bitcoiners.
Both those guys are really, really good guys to boot. I mean, they really are. I mean, last year at BitBlock Boom, Jan just messaged me and said, "Hey, you want me to send you a bunch of books to give away?" He had a new book out.
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, I'll send you some. And if you sell them, pay me for whatever you sold also. And if you don't sell any, just keep them. So it wasn't like he had any expectations. So I really thought that was, I think we sold most. We gave away maybe 10 or 15 of them that he had signed and numbered, and then we sold most of the rest for him. So it worked out good for him. But I liked his marketing approach on that. So give-bitcoin.io not only allows you to give Bitcoin, but you can I like to look at it as a savings bond. You can time delay it. Kind of like when my grandmother gave me a $5 savings bond for Christmas.
We should give an update on that, because when we launched, we were doing longer escrow, and we've decided that it's not really the focus of the product. The goal of the product is really just to get people into Bitcoin. And so we've actually made it only one choice. You don't get to choose. It's always exactly 1 year.
Okay, so you get Bitcoin in a year. So it's still like a savings bond. So my statement's correct.
It's like a 1 year CD or something, or a 1 year bond.
Yeah. So you give someone $50 worth of Bitcoin at Christmas for a present, your grandkid. In my case, that's how I would think of it. And then maybe by next Christmas, he goes to cash it out, and maybe he has $100.
Obviously our goal is for them to fall in love with Bitcoin and go down the rabbit hole and not ever think of cashing it out.
Oh, yeah.
And also to gain enough.
Well, since I'm not a casher outer, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
the goal for the company is to take a lot of Bitcoin out of circulation by putting it in the hands of hodlers.
So how have we done? Are we happy with our progress?
Well. Yeah, so we like to refer to, so we went live on November 21st, and what we called that 5 weeks of November 21st through the end of the year was our live beta. Just basically letting people actually try the thing. We had goals that we had set for number of gifts and dollar volume of the gifts, and we did 2.2x on the number of gifts.
Oh, wow.
Goal. So, hundreds and hundreds of gifts, so pretty cool that a lot of people tried it out. And then we did exactly double the dollar volume of gifts that we wanted to do. So we're really happy. It's good enough results to go out and do some fundraising, which we've been doing the last couple of weeks, and got a bunch of new investors. So really happy about that as well.
Well, let's talk about the other thing. We have an app coming out for give-bitcoin.io. Is that right?
So you're probably talking about the other product.
That's for Save Bitcoin.
Yeah. So under development right now, we basically realized after, being in the market and listening to what people want, that there is, as clean and easy and no experience required as Give Bitcoin is, buying for somebody else. It turns out that experience doesn't really exist with one company, just focused purely on making it super easy to buy Bitcoin for yourself. That functionality is either, buried in an exchange app or website, or it's on a payments app right next to your McDonald's coupons and, selling you Apple stock and things like that. So something that really focuses on Bitcoin education, Bitcoin community, and then is, undercutting everybody else on fees, and makes it super easy in a few seconds to set up recurring purchase so that you can set it and forget it and buy every day, week, or month. Seems like there's a big opportunity for that to exist in the market. So that's what we are in progress right now, building that.
So with Save Bitcoin, when that does come out, you will be able to set up, if you want to buy every $25 every Friday.
Yeah.
It would just automatically set it up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just dollar cost average, recurring purchase, very easy.
So any ETA on when that we might see that?
Yeah, I mean, we're working hard trying to get it out in March so that it's live in advance of the Bitcoin 2020 conference in San Francisco. So that's our goal.
Now, will y'all be displaying at Bitcoin 2020?
Yeah, we'll be there. You won't be able to get to the stage without walking past us.
Sounds like you got a good spot. Well, there's a couple of stages in there, though.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's the upstairs stage, not the.
They changed the layout a little bit, so it's
okay. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the new
this
layout.
year. You actually have to walk through the exhibitors to get to the stages.
Well, last year you had to walk up the ramp in the exhibitor. Well, you didn't have to walk through the exhibitors, though, did you?
No,
you could walk right up to. Right. Yeah, exactly. You could walk right. Yeah.
This year I guess are down at the bottom of the ramp instead of those curtains being there, and you won't be walking up the ramp.
Oh, so the so you'll go in where you picked up your lanyard last time. You'll go in through there.
Yeah.
That was kind of like where all the press people were hanging out. Was behind that curtain. That was kind of like a shortcut to the downstairs stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where the exhibits are going to be now.
That's right. That's what I heard.
Okay. That's a lot better idea, I think, than how they had that last time, for sure.
Yeah.
So Give Bitcoin and Save Bitcoin will stay two different tools?
That's the plan. Eventually, so they're web apps. So GiveBitcoin.io is on the web, and obviously it works really well on a phone. Save Bitcoin may launch as an app or may do the website. We haven't decided yet, but either way, it's basically the same experience. We do have plans to eventually launch a native app for iOS and Android. We'll see. It's a ways off.
Hey, I want to see if you can do me a favor.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get an interview with Tom Lee for 2 years.
Okay.
And I know he's one of the advisors. So if you don't go out of your way, but if you ever happen to be chatting with him, tell him I want to get him on the show.
So, little secret, Tom is not an advisor. He's a big investor in us.
Oh, okay. Because I see him on the site.
He's on the site, and he agreed to be listed as an advisor. But yes, I will definitely ask him for you. Let's follow up on that privately.
I met him in Dallas a couple of years ago. Super nice guy. I mean, he was really a nice guy.
He's very nice. We got to try to convince him not to have some certain fraudsters on his show. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Hey, before we go any further, because I want to talk about LA Bitcoin Week. But before we do that, I want to make sure that everybody listening knows about BitBlock Boom. You probably hear me talk about this every episode. But BitBlock Boom is a real Bitcoin conference, and it's coming to Dallas, Texas in August, last weekend in August. And I say real Bitcoin conference because all we talk about is Bitcoin. We don't talk about blockchain, really. We don't talk about altcoins. We don't talk about anything except Bitcoin. This will be the third year for our BitBlock Boom. We have our BitBlock Boom dinner, a welcome dinner, starts Thursday, and we just added a golfing event Thursday at Top Golf. So this is starting to turn into a whole week thing itself. Ton of great speakers. Go to bitblockboom.com today to check it out and use the code COUSINS. COUSINS at checkout, and you'll receive 30% off the price of your ticket. So go to bitblockboom.com and take a look today. I hope I get to meet you in Dallas there at BitBlock Boom. But before BitBlock Boom, we're going to have Bitcoin Week. Is that that's what it's being called? Bitcoin Week?
Calling it LA Bitcoin Week. Yeah, it's just
okay.
It's a pre-conference before the big one up in San Francisco.
That's 21st through 24th.
That's right. Saturday through Tuesday in LA. Most of the events around like Santa Monica and Venice.
Well, we're getting my wife usually travels with me when I go to the conferences, and she finds something to do because she's not interested in the conferences at all. She just likes to see the value of our Bitcoin. She doesn't care much more than that. So we are going to be staying in Venice Beach because she saw that on the internet. She saw that on her phone, looking up, said, "Oh, I want to go. I want to walk down this beach. This is Muscle Beach, is on here." So I guess we're going to go and stay on Venice Beach somewhere so she can go walking during the daytime while I'm Bitcoining it around town with you guys. What can we expect there? What kind of stuff? I know I'm going to be helping out with Bitcoin for Boomers. We're discussing that right now. with Stephen Cole. I had a big conversation with him today about it. But what else? Do you know of anything else is happening? What's the, I guess, can you give us a little info on it?
Yeah, the plan is to do a big, like drinks and appetizers, welcome, networking, hangout, welcome dinner on Saturday. So that'll be the 21st. Sunday, I think the plan is to get a bunch of people together at a sports bar or restaurant that has big TVs and mix some Bitcoin talk with March Madness, because that's one of the NCAA tournament weekends. Monday, we're planning on doing Boomers in Bitcoin or Bitcoin for Boomers, or really, it's okay, Boomer.
Hey, you know what? That doesn't bother me at all. I figure the only person who can be bothered by that is someone who's not a boomer. You know, if you were like 45 and someone said, okay, boomer, it should probably piss you off. Because they're saying, hey, you old for it. And you go, I'm not old for it. I'm not an old boomer. But an old boomer knows they're old boomers. So
yeah, I think the thought there is just like a half-day conference and kind of just get as many folks of your generation to show up as possible, and some younger Bitcoiners, and do like an interview. Probably get Andy Hedstrom, the author of Why Buy Bitcoin, and runs a big financial advisor practice here in LA. So he has a ton of boomer clients, and he's used to talking about Bitcoin for that audience. So maybe you'll have like a fireside chat with him, or maybe he can give a lecture with some slides. Maybe do a panel, maybe do a little workshop, and get a bunch of boomers to download a wallet and send a transaction to them and back, things like that.
Well, that sounds pretty good. I didn't realize he was coming and he had all those connections.
Yeah. It's actually I have his there. Andy, there you go, buddy. Why Buy Bitcoin? Andy Hedstrom. It's really good. I've been reading it. And then we were thinking on Tuesday of going and telling your wife to look out the window of her beach hotel and just kind of like hang out on the boardwalk and walk back and forth, and maybe do a little parade for social media, and capture some video with Breckie Von Bitcoin and some friends, and have some funny Bitcoin signs and make some noise.
Kind of like you saw last year, Consensus. They had signs like that. They did some kind of skit out there with signs.
I haven't seen that. Was it a Bitcoin thing, or was it?
Yeah, it was a Bitcoin thing, and I can't remember what it was now, but it was funny. And then the way that it was filmed, it looked like it was real, but you knew it wasn't real. I mean, but it looked like it was real. So nice. It turned out to be kind of funny, and I think they got a good bit of press off of it. So, is there a location people can go to find out, like, when to go or where to be, or how is that? Is it just all how are people finding out what to go, when to, where to go?
There's just a Telegram group. That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
And the Telegram group is, what is it off the top of your head? Do you know?
I don't have it, but you can DM me on Twitter. My DMs are open, and we can add you to the Telegram group.
LA Bitcoin Week. It's LA Bitcoin Week.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I thought you know off the top of your head, dude, so I was giving you a hard time there.
Man, I'm Gen X. I don't really know how Telegram works. I didn't know you could search for it just by the name of the group. But yes, I guess that's what you can do.
I think you can. Hell, I don't know. I just
we got to get one of these youngsters to come and explain Telegram to us.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I seem to be able to find my way around there, but I have a hard time with the one that's the gaming one. I don't seem to enjoy that. All the gamers seem to be on that one. I can't remember what it is now.
So confirmed. That is how you can find it. Just type LA space Bitcoin space week in Telegram, and you'll see it there.
So this old boomer taught you something. You can teach an old dog. An old dog can teach someone a new trick.
Absolutely.
So what do you want to talk about? Let's sit here. We're through with all the stuff we had to cover. I mean, let's talk about some more of this stuff here. Give us some more details. What do you want to talk about? I usually don't say that, but I mean, we went through this pretty quick because I guess this was the second show, and I really wanted to make sure everybody knew about the Bitcoin Week. Is why on here. I didn't want to do this like in March, so that's why we did this. So I want to make sure that this gets taken off and we cover everything you want to cover.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we can talk about anything that you want to. I definitely think there is going to be a very interesting year for Bitcoin, coiling the spring, and we'll see how it goes, with price action over the course of the year. And, 2017, 4 years later, is 2021. So this is kind of the gearing up year, and I think things could go absolutely bananas in 2021. So,
this will be your first happening you've gone through.
That's right. Yeah. It's interesting, but I was aware of Bitcoin. I just wasn't involved. I wasn't bought in. I didn't own any. But
same thing.
My origin story is, someone gave me Bitcoin at a tech conference in January of 2014. It would have been a very nice time to start accumulating had it taken, but the gift alone wasn't enough. That's a big reason why I started this product, Give Bitcoin, was because I wanted to go back in time and save 2014, Cory, and make it go differently. So if you can do the give plus the escrow plus the education, that should be a better chance of onboarding somebody.
Well, I think that's something we didn't go over was the education.
Mm-hmm.
When we were talking about GiveBitcoin.io, when they are set up to receive their Bitcoin, when they get Bitcoin given as a gift, or I guess even the giver can sign up, they receive Bitcoin emails.
This is what it is. So we're writing a book. It's called The Gift of Bitcoin. It's specifically tailored to somebody that receives a gift in this way through the website. And every month for the 12 months that your Bitcoin is locked up, you get a new chapter of The Gift of Bitcoin. So that first cohort of people who got Bitcoin from late November through mid-December, they got chapter 1 delivered to their inbox like December 15th. They just got chapter 2 a few days ago. So that was their second chapter. And then the new cohort got chapter 1. And so we're just kind of like over the course of this year. And then chapter 12 will come out in November. Although we are actually rushing to finish the book a lot faster. We're hoping to have all 12 chapters done by March, because we do actually want people to be able to read ahead if they want to. So you get a new chapter in your inbox each month, but you're able to read ahead if you choose to. So we do want people to be able to go, kind of like pretty deep down the rabbit hole whenever they choose to make the time for it. They can get through the book. The target duration is like a 2.5 hour read. Each chapter should take, 10 to 13 minutes to read, something like that. It's not that long of a book. And yeah, that's the deal.
So who's writing the book actually?
So our writer-editor is a guy named Matt Ruby, who's done a similar type of thing got a couple of New York Times bestsellers using a similar process for 37 Signals. That's the guys that create Basecamp. And so he wrote the book Rework with David Hinnemeyer Hansen and Jason Fried and one of the other ones. So yeah, very comfortable working with Matt on this, and he's a great interviewer. He also shoots a lot of video. We just did a full day shoot with Jan in Chicago, and we have, I think, something like 90 video clips now of between 30 seconds and 3 minutes of Jan explaining all kinds of different aspects of Bitcoin. So those will now start to get interspersed into the chapters. We also have an audio version of each chapter that comes out along with the text, and that's written. That's the text read in question and answer format by Guy Swan with a rotating set of question askers.
Well, Guy's a pretty good guy.
Guy is a pretty good guy.
Yeah,
because I owe him royalties for using the name Swan, but I pointed out that we only have one N and he has two.
I bought a domain years ago. You ever heard of Hunter Douglas Blinds?
Yeah.
Well, they have two S's on theirs, and I bought Hunter Douglas with one S. And they came after me giving me all this crap about how I was domain squatting and stuff. I said, hey, I didn't even know this was you. I mean, I was going to do something with this. This isn't you. I haven't done anything with it. I just owned the domain. And so they didn't want me doing anything with it, I guess. So they ended up buying it from me to make sure I didn't do anything with it, I guess.
There you go.
So I thought that was funny how that one S really made a big deal to them. Unless I was going on there saying, putting the site Hunter Douglas sucks, I would think it would be a big deal to them. But it definitely was. So, what do you think of the halvening? Because we discussed that a second ago. This is your first halvening. What do you think we can expect, just in your thoughts, not as a financial consultant?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually it doesn't affect my own business nearly as much as it has real implications for another company I'm involved in, because I'm on the advisory board of Riot Blockchain, which is a Bitcoin miner.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, I'm on that board with Pierre Richard and Jan Pritzker. And they're a NASDAQ listed company, and their only operation is Bitcoin mining. So it is something.
Where are they out of?
They are based out of Oklahoma City, but it's a fairly.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
They just bought a buttload of new S9s, didn't they?
They did, and they put out a press release about that a couple weeks ago. Yeah, they bought like 4,000 new S17s.
That's where I saw it at, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, S17s actually, the new ones.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say S9s. I knew they were. Yeah.
So it does matter, and you do have to stay on top of what's going on with the halving. It's one of the reasons I'm going out to Austin later this week. I'm going out Thursday and Friday, because Thursday evening, a bunch of the executives from the different North American Bitcoin mining companies are getting together in Austin to just discuss the industry and talk about promoting Bitcoin mining in North America, and basically pulling as much market share back to this side away from China as possible over the next few years.
Oh, so are they doing lunch this Friday?
Thursday evening. There is, I think, like a Bitcoin lunch in Austin on Friday.
There's a pork chop lunch down there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to that as well.
Yeah.
So, if there is one this week, I don't think it's guaranteed every week, but
no, it's not guaranteed every week. I now I think about it, I didn't get an invitation this week, so I guess there isn't one this week.
Well, you'll just have to go and hit up Tolbert's on Main Street and Grapevine instead.
Well, how do you know about Grapevine?
It's my aunt and uncle's restaurant.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice little area up there.
Yeah. My aunt's grandfather, I think, or maybe it's her father actually, is Frank X. Tolbert.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, how would I know that? I mean, yeah, that's a great little area when they have the Grapevine Wine Festival.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I bet they do pretty good that weekend, because that street is packed.
They do pretty well, I think, all the time. So it's a fun place.
That sounds good. Well, I'll have to remember that. Hey, anything else you want to say before we get out of here? We're probably hitting my 30-minute mark. So anything you want to say?
I'm excited to go to BitBlock Boom.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to talk to you about that. We'll talk about that when we get off the air.
Yeah. Yeah, it just comes down to timing. I usually travel abroad for part of the summer. I'm just going to try to make sure that I'm back for that.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing you there. Well, in that case, I just want to say to everybody, make sure you go to givebitcoin.io and join the Telegram group for LA Bitcoin Week, because that has the potential of being pretty fun. Hey, you said something about a bus going from LA to San Francisco.
Yeah, they got it together last year, and evidently it was really fun. I'm not going to travel on it, but there is somebody that stepped up to sponsor it, I believe, and we'll have details about that in the Telegram group as well.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so everybody check that out. Hey, I want to thank you for coming on. I really do. Like I said, I know it was quick, so a lot of this stuff we covered already. But like I said, I want to make sure and get the word out there about LA Bitcoin Week. So thanks for coming back on.
Yeah, it was my pleasure, Gary. Always good to see you.
Everyone, thanks for listening. This has been a CryptoPodcaster.com production.